Okay, these are the angle notes part 2. I'm going to start with looking at what an angle bisector is. An angle bisector is a ray that divides an angle into two congruent angles. So if I have this angle ABC and ray BD, is an angle bisector, then angles A, B, D is congruent to, let me write that a little nicer. It's congruent to angle DBC. And we like to mark that with two of those congruence markings that aren't side by side, so it doesn't look like it's all together. Okay? Perpendicular lines. There are two lines that intersect at a right angle. And we indicate that by this hat. The symbol for perpendicular is the upside down T. And in this diagram on to the right, we would have line L perpendicular to line M. And then a little bit, taking it just a little bit further, a line, segment, or ray perpendicular to a segment at its midpoint is a perpendicular bisector. So you can take notice that we have two segments congruent here. Lets me know that this point, if it were there, is a midpoint. And then we see I have perpendicular so line LM is the perpendicular bisector to the segment PQ. Okay, in our examples, we're going to have a little bit of a review from the prior notes. Okay, for writing names. So write another name for angle CBF. The easiest way to write a name is just to reverse the order. The sides of an angle are the two rays. So the sides of angle EBD would be the ray BE. It's a ray. And the ray BD. And you have to make sure it starts with the vertex. Classify angle ABC. If you look, it makes a straight line, so it is a straight angle. An example of an obtuse angle. You could have, think it's got to be bigger than 90. So you could have a couple examples here. I'm going to just do angle EBD. Right? It has to be greater than 90. two congruent angles. So we're looking for those congruency markings. So here's a congruency marking, here's a congruency marking. So naming those two would be angle EBA and angle CBF. And a perpendicular bisector. So we're looking once again for those congruency markings. I'll highlight them in green this time. So I'm looking for segment congruency, so that's those two. So that means this is a midpoint, and I see perpendicular. So that tells me that ray BD is a perpendicular bisector. Okay, and then let's do example 4. The vertex of angle 2. This is angle 2 right here in blue. So the vertex of that is that point there in the middle, which is T. The sides of angle 4. So angle 4 is WTZ. So the sides are TW, always starting with the vertex, TZ, and they're rays, ray notation. Another name for angle 3 could have angle UTZ or angle ZTU. Another name for angle 1, angle YTX. Classify YTW. See the hat? So it's a right. YTU, it's greater than 90. XTU, it's less than 90. WTX, it makes a straight line. Two perpendicular lines. Look for the hat. Here's the hat. So what two lines are intersecting? We have WX and YZ. An angle bisector, so look for the two congruency markings, and they are actually, these are supposed to be two separate markings. So two congruent angles would be 2 and 3. So that angle bisector is that ray. And this ends part 2 of the angle notes.